out of the car office and here in the outside office. I got my notes again. Speaking on domestic violence in a professional setting, confronting anyone who may be experiencing any situations or might have gone through any circumstances, whether it be personal or witnessed or um, any physical or emotional states. So having proper training, trained professionals, maybe addressing it depending on the company and the budget. For instance, we can say we have a medium-sized company that we do have a small budget allocated for any circumstances that might have occurred or may occur. So in relation to that, maybe funding for relocation, maybe some staff on hand for counseling, temporary, maybe not full-time, only when situations happen, maybe just a company that we are familiar with and that we may work with, to have professionals that know what they're doing to kind of digress the situation and decrease any reoccurrences or possible occurrences of situations happening at the workplace. So, for instance, anyone coming up to the workplace and maybe bringing a situation. But if anything, there's security there. If anyone was to happen to have anything occur, like bringing a weapon up to the workplace or anything like that, or having a physical brawl. So it just depends on the company and what's available. So, for example, in the public eye, you might see on the media and news, you've seen maybe physical fights or even verbal fights on like aircraft flying with passengers, between passenger to passenger or passenger to pilot and pilot to passenger. So you have certain, like with those situations, domestic violence situations could be the same actions. So when you have people that are used to addressing those types of situations and are trained to do that, they can do so maybe a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, and handle it more appropriately. So it just depends. Maybe the dynamic of the relationship may not necessarily be important, but then it could be if it's a long-term relationship and people that are in a personal relationship and live together in close quarters and things like that. So whether it be roommates or it be spouse or a personal love interest relationship or maybe a work roommate situation. So it just depends on the environment, but that's just a sample example scenario to kind of overview and branch off from there. So it might depend on industry, it might depend on career. There might be more situations that happen in certain areas or careers or career fields or companies, or the size of the company might matter a lot too. So there are various details to consider depending on what you're working with and who you're working with. So that is that. So I'm going to go back to reading my notes again and reevaluating everything.